would like to ask to Mr. Sauber, what does he think about his two drivers in Ferrari?
It's not easy to explain that in English. You know, my English is still not good enough. I think after Michael Schumacher will be a difficult year for Ferrari, because he was an excellent driver, not only fast, especially on the technical side. But on the other hand, I'm sure Jean Todt knows exactly how good Kimi is, and Jean Todt, many years ago, he's a big fan of Kimi. But he knows what Willie says. He knows exactly the weak sides of Kimi, especially on the technical side. Kimi is not so interested in technical things, and I think that today in Formula One is a very important point to develop the car. But I think he has a good support from Felipe. Felipe made a big step forward the last year, beside from Michael.
Coming back to the BMW drivers, Mr. Tyson, is it just a coincidence that 3 out of 4 are German drivers, or can we see a kind of philosophy in it?
It is a coincidence. We certainly don't go for certain nationality, but for the best drivers we see, and the best drivers we think will fit to our team. It's a nice coincidence, obviously from the German perspective, from the perspective of the German market, the German media, and still BMW is a German company, but we are operating globally, and 17 out of 18 races will be in other countries, so there is no real focus on having German drivers. I like it, I like the situation, but we definitely went for the strongest drivers we can have. Well, it might look that we always go for the youngest kids on the grid, but it's not really true. I think we have a perfect blend now of experience and youth. It is certainly exceptional to have a 19-year-old and a 21-year-old driver in the car. But if you, we all know how Robert developed. He certainly is up to the game, and if you look at the 2 other drivers we have taken on now, Sebastian and Timo, they both have started their Formula career in Formula BMW, so we know them very well, and it not only demonstrates how strong Formula BMW is as a feeder series, but also having worked with a young guy for 1 or 2 years in Formula BMW, we perfectly know him. So it's very different if we see a guy who used to be with us in Formula BMW. We definitely know what to expect from him. It's very different from a young driver coming from the outside.
Last year you proved a lot of courage by sacking Villeneuve in favor of Kubica, and it proved to be a good choice. Is there the risk to Nick of being sacked again in favor of Vettel in the coming future?
I'm really happy about the driver lineup we have. The 4 guys are exactly the 4 people we wanted to have on board, and I'm very sure the race drivers are in a position already to win races as soon as the car is ready. So there's absolutely no idea to change anything. The entire team is under pressure, and that includes both drivers. So it's Nick said before on stage, he's used to pressure, and the same applies to Robert, but the same applies to all the engineers in the team as well. So it's not something specific to anybody.
Willie, can you tell us a little about the rear airbox, which looks quite unique, and also the weight distribution, is that kind of stay the same or move backwards or forwards?
Yeah, with the weight distribution, I mean, with the change to the Bridgestone tires, we didn't know what weight distribution is needed. So for this reason, we tried to be a bit more flexible with the weight distribution. And after completing the first test with the F1.06 B car, the interim car on Bridgestone tires, I think we are in the correct range. And can you repeat the first question?
The airbox, the rear airbox looks quite unique with a big. Can you tell us about?
You mean with the big fin?
Yes, the big fin.
Yeah, I mean that's purely aerodynamic. I mean its target is to increase aerodynamic efficiency and also to have a car which is not very sensitive to yaw, for example, and steer because of different tire characteristic. And what you see is the result from the wind tunnel to achieve this target.
With the internals of the engine being able to change this year, what areas will you be able to still focus on to get power improvements of the engine during the year? And to what extent do you think you'll actually be able to improve the engine?
Well, basically there is a cut. There has been a cut at 15th of December. We had to provide the specific design of the new engine to the FIA by that date. And now we are busy to realize it. So we are still working on the engine. We have to present the original thing, the real engine, to the FIA on 1st of March. And apparently all the changes we made up to 15th of December are now being realized. So parts are coming. The engine is tested on the dyno in order to be really ready by 1st of March. After that, and the changes now over the winter included mainly the gas exchange process, which is intake, camshaft, exhaust, some reliability issues we addressed, and then obviously car installation. Having achieved that, it will be mainly about mapping the engine throughout the season. So the potential gains are quite small after that.